Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. I've got a little gem for you guys. I'm a little bit embarrassed about what this pretender is trying to contend with. But I gotta tell you, the more I look at this pen, the more I say to myself, wow, are Mont Blancs really worth what they're asking us to pay, you know? In any event, folks, stay tuned. I've got a little surprise for you. This is the Lemon M6, the Little Prince model. Stay tuned. Okay, folks, so we're back for the review, and this Lemon brand has, over the last several months, kind of surprised us, haven't they? First of all, they've got some very nice nibs, and they've gotten into the habit of imitating other well-known manufacturers. Just say, let's go to my overhead camera and I'll point out to you what I mean. I've got here two pens that I've reviewed before. This is, of course, the Lemon. I believe this is the M1 or the M1S, but M1S is very similar in terms of design. And as you can see, this is, pretends to be a Parker Duofold, clearly. But many have, Jinhao has done the same, right down to the clip, this beautiful clip. I've just finished a review of the real thing, the Duofold, and, apart from maybe a slight difference here in the bands, because I think the real thing, or one of the versions anyway, has the bands reversed, the bigger one on top and the smaller one at the bottom. And of course, the finial has a lemon finial as opposed to a duofold. But there you have it. So that's one. The second one, and there may be others, I've reviewed this pen as well, which is the Lemon M5, which, by the way, is just an absolutely gorgeous pen in terms of feel and writing experience. And when I took a look at this, I said, wow, and then realized that this is, in fact, an imitation of the Mont Blanc Writers series, William Shakespeare. Of course, it doesn't have the Mont Blanc crown at the top. It has kind of a panda, because this is, they've given it a kind of a panda motif. And so the same thing goes for the engravings here. It's a little panda as opposed to, I forget what the real thing has, but in any event, so Lemon has kind of given us that look, and lo and behold, is the subject pen. Now, the first thing I've got to mention to you is that this pen, unlike many Mont Blanc knockoffs, if you will, which are extremely heavy and very, all metal, and you can tell right away that the feel is off, okay, and things don't screw in properly and all the rest of it. There's several on the internet. They're known as MB fakes. And I purchased a few way back when, during my early days, when I said, wow, is that a Mont Blanc? What is that? So I was curious. And yeah, they're big, clunky, heavy looking things. This one actually has the feel of a Mont Blanc. I gotta tell you, and the quality is really really nice. Now which all goes, and this pen is going for what, anywhere between 35 and $45 Canadian. Last time I checked. So there you have it. This is the Lemon M6. And I will put up on the screen, right next to this, the real thing, so we can take a look at to see how close this resembles the real thing, which is, of course, the Mont Blanc Little Prince. It's kind of a 146, I would say, size. So let's take a closer look at this. First of all, the Little Prince, right down to the little star here. Okay. On the band, of course, we don't have Mont Blanc. What we have is inscribed, and let me just get my loupe so I can see properly. Manual, I don't know what that is. Made in China. And there's something else which I can't recognize, but oh yes, lemon. So it's lemon manual. And even that, right down to how they engrave the name, it's kind of got a kind of a similar font. The real thing, I think, comes in different versions. You got some, I think, with a chrome cap, blue barrel, but this is one of them. I'm not sure what this motif stands for, frankly. I haven't taken the time to research that part. There is an engraving here, which is a Little Prince in French phrase, if you will. And then we have the finial. Now, before everybody, wow, and you say they copy the finial. Well, not quite. The real Mont Blanc finial has got 1, 2, 3. It's got 6 points, if you will. This one's got 5. But still, so I guess that's the way they're differentiating it. And I don't know why Mont Blanc doesn't go after these imitations. But it makes you wonder, if I can get this pen for $35, and we'll see how it writes, okay? I mean, the verdict's still out. But there you have it. That's the outside shell. Very nice, I've got to tell you. Good weight. And let's just see how many turns it takes to open this up. That's one, I guess 1 1/4, 1.5. To reveal this nib, which is a lemon dual toned. It has lemon on it with the lemon branding, and nice tipping. We'll see how it writes. This is what they call a hand polished medium. It is a piston filler to boot. The piston filler mechanism works fairly well. In one of the ads, it says it's a copper piston filler. I'm not sure. The only thing I can see in that grilled ink window, by the way, it has an ink window, is I see obviously the plastic tipping there of that filler mechanism. Will I be able to insert some kind of a tool there to open it up so I can clean it? Probably. This mechanism is a little loose, compared to some others. But once you get it going, it's quite stable. There you have it. I've not taken the time to see whether or not there are two notches there. So to suggest that this can be probably unscrewed. And I've replaced nibs very often by just pulling them out. So I'm sure that that's possible, obviously. So there you have it. The construction looks really nice. The section here is extremely smooth. Not much of a flare there. It's pretty even. In terms of feel, very nice feel. This metal finial there kind of makes the pen just sit there very nicely. So very comfortable, medium size, I would say to you. Well, a little bigger than medium sized, but it's a 146 size, I would say. Does it post? Yes, it does post. Makes it a little bit heavier now, but just as comfortable, because the pen is not overly heavy, like a Mont Blanc, I would say to you. It has a tendency to loosen out. So, you need to kind of, and you got to be careful. Does it turn the mechanism? Yes, it does. It turns the mechanism, so you got to be careful. So I wouldn't, I would be very careful. But it does post. There you have it. Very comfortable. Good. So we've dealt with the nice look. They come in different colors. And do I have it handy, the colors that they come in? Just bear with me a second. I'm going to check the computer and let you know in a second. But yes, they come in different colors. Yeah, you've got the, let me just show you on the internet here. And we'll cut. Here we go. This is the $47 offering. I've seen it cheaper at around $35 as well. So they offered it in this burgundy, black, with both gold or silver trimmings. There you have it. So that's Lemon M6. And I believe there's different nibs. This one doesn't have it, but there are other offerings where you can get, here you go, you can get the long knife versions of these things, or the just regular nibs, or the hand polished. Frankly, I don't know what the difference is. It sounded good. I ordered hand polished M, and that's what I got. So we'll take a look at the writing sample later and see how that translates in terms of writing experience. So in terms of the inside of the cap, just to see whether or not there is any lining in there to help in the well, I do see a plastic, there's kind of a step there that would suggest that it seals, but I do see a screw right at the end there. So to what extent there's air that goes in there, because it's holding this clip and finial, I guess we shall see. I suspect that it may not be a great seal, but I've not tested it yet. The clip itself, let's just check the clip. Extremely stiff, but I guess usable. There you have it. I would say to you that probably the cheapest looking part of this pen is the engraving at the top, which is, not the greatest, where we read the words créer des liens. Tu seras pour moi unique au monde. Create relationships. You will be for me, unique in this world. That's the translation. But there you have it. So that's the pen. We'll do some measurements, size comparisons, and the writing sample. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for the comparison. Here's a subject pen. This is the Moonman attempt at imitating Mont Blanc. So this is the Moonman Little Prince. As you can see, it is substantially smaller. The Moonman is. This is the Moonman. Is it P139? I keep mixing them up. The P139, which is really meant to be a imitation of the 146, and you can see that it does resemble, in terms of size, the subject pen. This is the Dieman N6, which some would argue is somewhat inspired, if you will, by Mont Blanc. Here you have the Jinao 450, a heavy, clunky pen, but one of my first Chinese pens, in fact. And then I'm going to put it alongside. This is my Solitaire, a Mont Blanc Vermeil, which is, a 146 size, just a little bit girthier, but as you can see, resembles quite a bit in terms of size the subject pen. So there you have the pens capped. Here you have the pens uncapped, and as you can see, comparison to the Moonman Little Prince, which has a number 5 size nib, much thinner, so that's girthier. Compares well with the P139, with the N7, with the 450, and with the real thing, which is the Mont Blanc here. As you can see, those are the pens uncapped. Here are the pens posted to the extent that you would want to risk posting these pen, or the subject pen. The 450 doesn't post very well. I would say the Dieman is the best poster. The Moonman appears to be, a good poster as well. Mentioned that the Moonman is not a piston filler. It is a, before I say that, it's a cartridge converter filling mechanism on the Moonman. So there you have the pens posted. We'll put up some measurements, and then I'm really curious to see what that writing sample and writing experience gives. Stay tuned. Back for the writing sample, and of course I thought I'd rub it in and use a Mont Blanc ink. And this is the Omer Greek Blue series. Beautiful, beautiful bottle, as they always are, but also very expensive. But there you have it. We'll see how this Omer Blue works out. Here's the subject pen. In terms of the paper, decided to switch it up, but maybe I will do 2 samples, one with my Tomo River, just to be consistent. But I thought I like this blue cover on this Fabiano paper and notebook, so I figured I'd use that. I used it in the B-roll and the filming, and I figured, why not? Let's see what it gives in terms of writing sample, and then we can do one on the Tomo River as well, if I see that this, for some reason, is not giving me the results that I would expect. So let's take a look at how this nib does. Okay, so this is the Lemon M6. I'm going to put Little Prince blue model. Got to tell you, so far, very, very smooth writing experience. Let me just... the nib on this pen is what they refer to as a hand polished lemon number 6 steel, and it's a medium. The ink is a Mont Blanc Homer blue. Very, very nice. It's got a, in terms of very wet. It's just got a kind of a nick. Not here. Not here. Quietly smooth, but maybe right there. Yeah, this way, I feel some feedback. This way, and this way, no feedback. Most consistent. Just a quiet, smooth, like as if I'm writing on water, really. Fast writing. Yeah, I just feel a little bit of a nick when I here. Right here. Right here. Be right back. I'm back. Just a little bit of a smoothing on a, just a mesh here. And you know what? I've a little bit of feedback, but it's gone. Yeah, it's all gone. So you know what? Fast writing works very well. In terms of reverse writing, let me just see. No. Doesn't give me any ink. Is it? Yeah. No. Reverse writing won't work. So let me just back up a little bit here. So let me post it just to see. I know it's better be careful, but we'll do the rest posted. Very comfortable, I got to tell you. So what do you got in terms of likes? And dislikes. I got to tell you, the quality of the pen is okay. The nib is very, very nice. I would give it almost like an 8.5. By the way, it doesn't have much of a flex. It's not a springy nib, but much softer than, a Jinao nail, if you will. But, you might be able to get a little bit of line variation, but not much. I think all it does is makes the ink darker, but the line, I think, is pretty much the same. Now, the design is nice, but it's a copy. So objectively speaking, it's a 146. So I like the design of the pen, but of course I have to dislike it because they've copied it essentially. In terms of value, well, now that we've seen that Chinese pens are getting more and more expensive, they're going for anywhere between 30 and 45 Canadian, which is much less in US. So I would say that the value is 10 on 10. Very much. So, it to me, it's a great little pen. Do I have any dislikes other than the design? No. This is really a nice pen. Go-to pen? 10 on 10. There you have it. Oh, promised that I would do just a quick look at how the pen writes on Tomoe River. Here's my Manufactus cover, and this is my. By the way, one of the viewers asked me what I put in here. I replaced the Manufactus book or notebook with a Tomoe River notebook writers on Namiki paper. It's the writers edition, lined. Okay, so let's just see how it reacts, how it works out here. Wow. Yeah, as I suspected, on Tomoe River, it performs even nicer. The nib does. Fabiano's got a little bit of tooth, the Fabiano paper, whereas you don't have it in this Tomoe River. Yeah, wow. Fantastic, folks. Gotta tell you, this is a nice little pen. Very nice pen. I guess the major defect that I forgot, that I should have put in the dislikes, and that I'm going to add, in terms of dislike, is that the piston filler, the posting. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, because when you post it, you have a tendency to get that filling mechanism started. So yeah, that would be another dislike. But I'm blown away at the feel, the writing experience that you're getting from this little gem. And like I said, it makes you wonder, should I be spending $1,000 on a Mont Blanc when I can get maybe the same writing experience with this? Now I got to show you we got to take a look at the writing experience, correct? So, what does the real thing give me, if you will, which is this. Now, I have not used this in a while. Does it have any ink? Hopefully it does. Yeah, it does. This is the Mont Blanc. Now, it does have is it triple broad, or at least double broad? Can never get used to this nib. It doesn't have the spring that this gold nib has, obviously, but this is not the springiest of nibs. Okay? And it has a problem with consistency. It does have a tendency to skip on me once in a while. Is it the nib? Yeah. When I've never actually given a pen to a nibmeister, I'm going to do that sometime very, very soon. And I think this is one of the pens that I would be giving to a nibmeister to do something to that nib. I regret getting it in that size. And I'm even wondering whether or not it's an oblique. I can't figure it out by looking at it. It just looks a little bit oblique. But it just not what I prefer. So I want the nibmeister to do something with that. Maybe turn it into a, get rid of some of that tipping. I don't know what he could do, but because I find myself not using this gorgeous pen. But I got to tell you, in terms of comparison, this is a double, triple broad, and this one's a medium. But in terms of feel and writing experience, very, very similar. I mean, obviously, this is not like a 146 because there's more weight to it. But this rivals a 146. I've compared it to a 146 ballpoint, and very, very similar. Very, very similar. So there you have it. Hope that gives you an insight. I think it's worth the $30. I've got to tell you. I mean, if that, imitation at the tip there doesn't bother you, and I know some of you are very sensitive to that, and look, I'm not going to get into that, okay? But if that bothers you, then stay away from it. But if it doesn't, and you want a nice writing experience at $30 that's very similar to a Mont Blanc, Lemon M6, folks. There you have it. So thank you very, very much. As I've mentioned, I've passed the 5,000 subscriber mark. I'm very pleased about it. And that is thank you, my viewers, for your patronage, if you will. I hope I've entertained you. I hope that I've informed you. I'm having an absolute ball. I've got all kinds of pens in the pipeline that I've received, that I'm going to be receiving. I've ordered a bunch of notebooks as well, so I'll be okay for a while to be able to share that with you. I'm still working, and I mentioned this often, I'm still working on my nib video. It's comprehensive. It's a lot of work, and I keep getting pens that I want to review for you. They keep interrupting that work in progress, but it'll come. It'll come. So grazie molto. Thank you very, very much. Have a great week. Enjoy your pens. Fountain pen therapy, folks. Take care.